several minutes since I've seen something explode. Not cool.
Alrighty, this is Saphiron again, coming back to an old project where I am just doing a quick upload of my characters they have in bank storage, which I call the trophy case. So this is part 3, the Gunzerker.
The nightmares won't stop.
Guns! I got them. You need
Let's just take a peek into the shops when I'm doing that. I'm a looter by nature. I tend to open everything. Alright, so when I laid out what each character would be banking, I decided the Gunzerker would deal with SMGs and carbines because they're typically the things that have a high rate of fire. So first off is the Yellow Jacket, by the people, for the people. I had a previous version of this, and I cannot immediately remember where I got it either. The previous one had bayonets and they just didn't visually mesh with the rest of the gun because it's a plasma caster type weapon. So it uses regular ammo and it turns it into energy ammo. Miss Moxie's Crit. You get this from the Fantasy DLC. So it's kind of a parallel to the good touch and the bad touch that she gives you from Sanctuary. And this is part of the Moxie kit. This thing has a annoying little perk. When you're using it, when you're firing it, it might just randomly fly out of your hands. So it's not the most practical thing. The Bone Shredder, which you get from killing Bonehead when you're in the Arid Nexus. And I've seen versions before that were not elemental. This one is caustic. And again, as I've said in the other trophy case videos, I look for vendor purity. Now obviously a lot of weapons are based on having a very specific part, which means you'll never see a 100% bandit or 100% TDR version of that weapon. As for this one, we are looking at, that's the bandit barrel, but I believe that is the Hyperion? Well, it's the TDR stock. I think that might be the doll grip. The grip and the foregrip is definitely doll. And that's the TDR stock. Everything TDR is super boxy. So right here, as mentioned before, Miss Moxie's Bad Touch. You get this by tipping her, I believe, 20,000. So the easiest way is to just stand there and tip 10,000 until she gives it to you. I'm not sure what the increment is when you keep going. That was the first time I got the good touch. Because this one says, when I'm good, I'm very good. Let me quickly see if that other one is in here. No, it's not. Okay. But there is a parallel to this, and it's called the good touch. And its flavor text says, when I'm bad, I'm better. And it's not a mission thing either, it's something that she'll give you once you've tipped enough. I believe I have a couple of these. The Bane. Anyone who's done this mission knows what this gun does. It talks to you, and it also makes noise with every fire of a bullet. And it's just and it is kind of annoying. Now, somewhere in this trophy case I believe I have the original one that I got, which was the caustic version, and for its fire rate and overall performance, as a caustic weapon, it was great. When you wield the Bane, matter of fact, well, I'm not going to demonstrate it right now, but when you wield it, your gravity increases, so you move incredibly slow. And the first time I was dealing with that, I thought the game was glitching out. So I saved and quit. Launched again, tried to use it. Happened again, saved and quit, started again, and that's when I realized the gun is doing this. It was only happening when I had the gun in my hand. The Evil Smasher. This is the weapon that Marcus pays out to you after you do the mission where you track down he's like an echo caster, so he's essentially a YouTuber doing like a streaming show, and he's been tricked into thinking he's, the chosen one, and he's going to bring order to the Borderlands. So once you find all his recorders and you finish that mission, you turn into Marcus, and he gives you this. I think this feels like it would be an easy one to create for the purpose of cosplaying, because you can just you can doodle on all those images. Next up is the stink pot. Now, I've only ever found this one once. You get it from killing kind of the mini-boss at the end of the first street when you go into Oasis, when you start the Pirate DLC. The very last guy that you kill in that area has a chance to drop this. And like a lot of the kind of multiple ammo per shot carbines, it's not the most practical. When I was playing my Necromonster, I kind of got good at using those, and basically using the bounce shot off of them. So yeah, in playing that DLC with 6 characters, I've only ever encountered this once. So it is a very rare drop. The Hot Kitten. This is a Moxie payout from within the Torg DLC, and it is both Vladoff and fire. This is one of the better weapons in the game. Fire, like anything fire, is really good. I think right now this was as close as I was getting to Vendor Purity. Because you've got a Vladoff barrel, Vladoff stock. That would be a doll grip, but part of the Moxie kit. Captain Blade's Rapier. This is also from the Pirate DLC. This is from there are Captain Blade treasure chest missions, so every treasure chest mission pays out a Captain Blade item. And they didn't vary up too much. I think this is the closest I was getting to Vendor Pure, because this is Vladoff barrel and grip. So 1018 Boom Puppy. I think I've only done this mission twice in the several times I've done the Torque DLC. It's when you take the Skag for a walk. This is what pays out after it. And this Torg body barrel stock. It was a close enough on Vendor Purity off the first time, so I think the second time didn't pay out quite as pure a version, so I just kept this one. There's another Bane. I might actually have 3 Banes in this trophy case then. It's just the fire equivalent. And the Energizing Commerce. When you do the Assassinate the Assassins mission, one of them, this is the rare drop from one of them, but you can also get it again when you do the Digistruct Peak Gauntlet, because the final arena of that has you killing those 4 assassins again, and at that point they might drop high-level versions of these, which I'm pretty sure is where I got this. On top of which, that's the TD or barrel, but every other part of that is Hyperion. Body, stock, grips. I like when they're as vendor pure as possible, because they do have a visual cohesion to them. And not that the mix and match thing doesn't always look nice, it's just I think they look really good when they're pure. The Hail, part of the Moxie skin pack. This is a payout from the Fridge Arena, what do they call it? The Circle of Slaughter. And each Circle of Slaughter has a specific payout, and I may have discussed the ones that pay out from the other ones in my Assassin and Commando videos. So, and this is one of those ones that has a fixed part. It's always the doll barrel on it, so you'll never see a Hail with a Vladoff barrel. But this is Vladoff stock and a Jacob's grip, so out of 2 or 3 times doing this was the more cohesive one. I think one had a different think a different one had the Vladoff grip, but it had a different stock, and it just didn't look quite as cohesive. So, Hammerlock's Damned Cowboy. Pretty much all of the Hammerlock stuff pays out from the Hammerlock DLC, and I don't immediately remember which mission gave me this. But all of his stuff has a blue and gold finish, and I gotta do that DLC again with some other characters just to try and find more of this rare stuff. And in terms of named kits like Miss Moxies and Sir Hammerlocks, I'm definitely drawn more to having the named one as opposed to having the pure one. Because that's the thing, there must be a version of the hail that is just Miss Moxie's hail. But in doing that several times, I have not encountered it. So yeah, this was another Captain Blade's rapier. Vladoff grip again, but that's the bandit stock this time, whereas the previous one is the doll stock. So they're virtually identical, although this one is level 30. And this one is level... Oh, I think they're both the same level. Yeah, they're both 30. I think I've only actually had one character who played that DLC after the second playthrough. The Smooth Scorpio. Say not in grief, he is no more, but live in thankfulness that he was. This pays out during the main story mission, after you get back to Sanctuary from busting the bunker. And this is another one that is a permanent barrel type. It's always the Jacob's barrel on the doll body, but that's doll grip and stock, so that is as pure a Scorpio as you're going to get. Actually, I think that's the Torg scope. I know the scope is a part, too. I don't necessarily always worry myself with that part. And another hail. So this one is also a Vladoff grip. Jacob's stock. This one does slagging damage. And that's the real thing that keeps me from reducing the trophy case to just one version of it, is the fact that there are different elemental types. The Reserve Lascaux. Bandit body, doll body, bandit barrel, bandit grip, and the Hyperion stock. This is in the caves with the spider ants when you're in the the Frostburn Canyon. This is just sitting in a puddle of water. Although anyone else who's played the game might know that every once in a while you get to that puddle and there are 3 of these sitting there. It's kind of interesting. Because of that little quirk of that level, you grab multiple ones and you can look at them and see which one is most vendor pure. Stomper. This pays out from a mission in the Arid Nexus. This is a great weapon for the Siren because she benefits well from kind of single shot carbines, and for its level, it's usually one of the more powerful weapons in your kit. This one is close to vendor pure, Jacob's body barrel stock. That is the Vladoff grip and the bandit scope, I believe. I definitely prefer a carbine with a scope. Ones that don't really have a scope they're not hard to use, but I feel like the carbine is medium to long range weapon. Scopes are next to useless on a shotgun and pistols, but on a carbine they're definitely useful. Smooth Sandhawk. Now, at some point, I believe I did find the Captain Scarlet Sandhawk, and I would have preferred that for the namesake, but this one is... I think this one just looked a little more aesthetic. And obviously it is only the one... No, it's 2 doll parts. It's the body and the grips. Bandit barrel, Hyperion stock. But yeah, that's a mission payout from one of the stages in the Pirate DLC. The Culane. This is one of 2 possible payouts when you do the Clan Wars mission. This is what you get if you side with the Irish clan. And it is a very effective slag weapon, and the Gunzerker can definitely put it to good use, coupling it with another elemental weapon. This thing does something irritating, though. It slags you as you use it. So, not the best if you're in a bit of a kind of a grinder mode where you're fighting enemies your level or higher. That was the... Do I have 3 of those in this trophy case? I do. I have 3 Captain Blades rapiers. So, as you can see, very subtle differences. It's pretty much the stock that's changed. This is the high level one. And then another kitten with some slightly different parts. This is in here because according to the game information, it was supposed to have been a unique weapon. It was supposed to have, I don't know if it was supposed to be flavor texted, but it was supposed to be a higher rarity unique weapon. And I saw it in a shop, and that would have been my Mechromonster who found it, because she's the level 56 character. And it's the Weisenheimer. I've read up on the trivia, and apparently it's supposed to have been a flavor texted unique weapon. So I figured I would throw it in there. And that is it for the Gunzerker trophy case. Let's see if I'm carrying anything interesting. Just a good absorb shield. Some guns that came out of the gold chests. The blasters can be useful, but they eat ammo so fast. Having him dual wield Vladov sniper rifles is great. He becomes an AA gun. Couple the slag rifle with the caustic rifle, and you're just wrecking. Couple high-level pistols. This Gunzerker would be my second highest level character. He was also the one that saw the most co-op play. That's mostly garbage, but he's got one of the orange grenades on him. This leech grenade, this stupid leech grenade, dropped probably 8 out of 12 times fighting the warrior. It was the orange item that dropped from the warrior, and really would have liked a bit more variety than that. But for the time being, I will.
I'm pretty sure my liver just shut down. No biggie.
That's these two. They pretty much say something every time you walk past them.
Got any spare iridium?
Nope. So, for the time being, I am going to stop this one, and I will be right back to do my siren.